Hello everyone, thank you for joining me for another episode of Antonio's Movie Reviews. Today I have Sliver, a 1993 erotic thriller film directed by Phillip Noyce based on the Ira Levin novel of the same name. This movie stars Sharon Stone, who plays Carly Norris, William Baldwin, who stars as Zeke, and Tom Berenger, who plays Jack. I'll begin by saying that although I really enjoyed the style and concept of this movie, it really has a subpar plot overall. Carly is a book editor that is recently divorced after a 7-year marriage. She has had bad luck with love and moves into an apartment building that has sort of a questionable history along with a host of tenants that have sordid behavior. The film has a nature of voyeurism that keeps us in suspense and wondering who this peeping Tom may be. The movie sort of sets us up to believe that it could actually be anyone. Although this movie was critically panned, it was still a box office success.
I'm a book editor at Sutton.
Love the writing. I don't care if I ever go to an opera for the rest of my life.
By box office success, I mean it made $123.9 million, which most people attributed to the film riding the success of Basic Instinct, which it doesn't compare to, and in its defense isn't trying to, in my opinion. The movie is set in New York City, with the name of the building being 113 in reference to the address of 113 East 38th Street in Manhattan. The application was approved abnormally fast, and Carly was a bit apprehensive in moving in so suddenly, but ultimately relents.
Can I take one of these for you?
I'm okay.
Come on, I've got 2 free arms. Okay. It's okay. The one over on 39th is cheaper.
Oh, thanks.
I'm not gonna have 113. You'll like it here.
I will, thank you.
The premise of the film seems very simple. The building itself seems to have been the setting of a suspicious death by the doppelganger of Carly herself.
Forgive me, I don't usually follow women around. I'm not a dirty old man, really not. You just really, well, you look like someone.
Strangers. She was in 20B as well.
Sharon Stone is indeed astonishing, but in my opinion, neither William Baldwin nor Tom Berenger had any chemistry with her, and I found myself wondering throughout the movie where her attraction lied with Baldwin and why she kept going back into his apartment. I didn't have a problem finishing the movie at all, to be honest with you. It was easy to get through for me, but the ending will almost for sure leave you irritated and probably force you to negate all of the positive things you had to say about this movie. I honestly believe the movie could be done well and achieve its true glory with a great remake, as the topic of voyeurism can surely be attributed much more realistically in 2020 than it was in 1993. This movie has over-the-top technology for a film of 1993, but now, not so much. I mean, it just looks outdated. That being said, I believe the film is before its time. I think this movie would be valued greatly with Cronenberg at the helm, to be honest with you, in terms of a remake. I believe he would have gotten to the core of the audience with, voyeurism itself as the concept.
Jack Landsford. Shred of evidence, flesh and blood. Please proceed, Charles. Carly Norris.
Hello.
Fan of yours. She just loved flesh and blood.
Hey.
I haven't read it.
Alex, why is it she hasn't read me? Everybody's...
I really like the score of the film, which was composed by Howard Shore. You've heard me say his name in like 2 or 3 videos now. One of my main problems with the film is that it doesn't give us much backstory to any of the characters. The only real history I noticed was that the voyeurs seemed to have liked blonde women that looked like Carly and Naomi. Naomi being the name of the original woman who lived in 20B that leapt from the balcony to her doom. Vida is another tenant in the building.
She just didn't seem like the type.
Were you here when she...
Yeah, she came over.
She ends up meeting her neighbor, Vida, who is played by Polly Walker, who's a fashion model and also moonlights as a call girl. She retrieves a package that was left for her at Vida's, which is none other than a copy of Jack's books.
Carla, this is Zeke Hawkins calling. I hope you remember.
Aside from the books from Jack, she also received another gift, this time from a secret admirer that she didn't seem to care was already inside of her apartment when she got there, a telescope. You may realize that you saw a telescope in Vida's apartment just a moment ago, and at the same time she's watching someone else, someone is watching her.
That's an idea.
Hi, Zeke. It's Carly Norris. Thanks for your call.
At this point, we still don't know who the voyeur is, neither do we know the history behind any of this. I said earlier that all we really know is that he likes blonde women.
I didn't think that was funny. You scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I know. Hey, did you get the books?
Yeah.
Did you read them?
No.
About James Dean, for instance.
Doesn't that so?
You've been checking.
The movie provides us with a few red herrings as to who we think the voyeur may be, as Jack Landsford seems to be popping up all over the place along with our other neighbors.
Do you live here?
Did you know Mr. Hale?
How long have you lived
How
here?
do you feel about all these accidents?
20B. What happened?
The guy in 23B.
Really, we talked about, that he was going to Japan, that I look like her. You do.
When I first saw the cover for this film, the star power of Stone and Baldwin intrigued me enough to decide to view it. The film has very lengthy erotic scenes meant to showcase Stone and Baldwin. Baldwin also had a few erotic roles in his last known film, Flatliners. I don't feel like the film has a problem in the area of talent.
It's in progress. Also, a Dom Perignon. Hi, how are you? Pete? Hey, Alex. Jack, how are you? Good, how you been doing?
And you know Vida. Or I thought you two knew each other.
Say cheese.
In my opinion, the problem of the movie lies more so in the dialogue, and its cast had to work with what they had. I do believe they tried, though, in terms of giving the film the memorable scenes that it did deserve.
Did you know Naomi Singer?
Not really. I saw her around a few times.
Carly ends up having a housewarming party, and both Jack and Zeke decide to show up.
Bye. Good night. Thank you for coming. Good night.
Bye.
Peter.
Good night.
Good night.
What do you say? 10 o'clock? I'll call you.
I thank you.
You're welcome.
Night, Carl.
Good night, Jack.
I was honestly enthralled with the story at the very beginning because I thought at the very least I'd get a worthy ending. As you may notice, the ending of the movie really affected me emotionally. It's hard to even review the movie without thinking about what's to come.
Great. Just want
You're a liar.
You do.
Well, nobody's told me that. How often?
You think I'm too young for you, don't you?
The screenwriter for this movie wrote a ton of classics in this genre, including Jade and Basic Instinct. I honestly don't think he is to blame at all for this. I mean, he wrote Showgirls afterwards, which seems to have been another one of these types of films where you can honestly say that the dialogue was pretty much lackluster. Sliver just doesn't really have much depth to it. It was indeed a somewhat hot movie with Sharon Stone indefinitely. I can honestly name a lot of movies I'd have liked to see her play in.
It's my building, Carly. I own it. No. But I did approve your application quickly.
In a twist of sorts, we find out that Zeke is actually our voyeur, and that was a shock to me because I honestly myself suspected Jack to be the guy. I honestly believe this was probably the first thing that doomed the movie.
Give me the goods. Is he insatiable? I bet he's insatiable. They all are at that age.
You went off with who?
Jack Landsford. Who's not even as sharp.
Baldwin's character to me was just creepy in a Norman Bates sort of way. Jack wasn't really within the wrong about him when he said those things after breaking in Carly's apartment, which was creepy within its own right. Her door seemed to never be locked.
Get in here.
Door was open.
I've lived in New York.
Flowers, too. Maybe you two used the same spermicide.
I'm calling.
She was seeing a shrink.
He's so very, very sick.
The movie sort of reminds me of the movie Disturbia in a way, where it's this topic of voyeurism, but there is an underlying wraparound of murder. The movie could have really went in the way of horror, but I'm glad it stuck to its mystery roots.
You want strong too?
You want to go out for some truffles? The police came to see me today. Did you like the bra and panties? Show me.
Right here.
Right here.
This is one of those scenes that I wonder why Sharon Stone went to such great lengths to keep the attraction of William Baldwin. It's like she honestly wanted him.
Put these on. I wouldn't want you to catch a draft.
Pretty warm down there.
See you soon.
She can't control herself and goes to see old bad boy Billy Baldwin in another scene that almost gave this movie an NC-17 rating. It's definitely aesthetic pleasing to the eye, though, I must say. Sharon Stone in her younger days.
She told someone you had an affair with her.
That's crazy. I heard she had an affair with your friend.
What friend?
You were at a
Who
friend.
told you that?
Your neighbor, Vida? She told me at your...
Are you there? It's Carly Norris. Fight, I need to talk to you about something.
Hey.
Look. Clearly this is not...
No, I think your boyfriend told you that, didn't he? Fighter.
Talk to you. Yeah, I'll call you later, okay? Well,
Okay.
The second thing I didn't like was the fact that Jack gives us our next big twist, which I feel was way too early in the movie. I felt like Tom Berenger was worth way more than this. It seems to me Jack was trying not to be found out for something, because we had just been told that he had an affair with the woman who died, Naomi Singer. At best, I can say that this movie is one to watch if you are a fan of the thriller, mystery, and suspense categories and would like to see some 90s nostalgia with one of its treasures being trashy erotic thriller movies with great actresses like Sharon Stone, Demi Moore. The film, for me, was indeed mildly entertaining, I must say. Carly is so paranoid about the fact that Jack was in her home after what he did that Zeke has no choice.
Come on. Go and watch her on TV. That was just about my life with her.
Did you sleep with her? Simple question, Will.
You're making me do something I don't want to do.
In an effort to console Carly after that trauma she witnessed, Zeke shows her his camera room. She leaves in what appears to be disgust at first, but she returns intrigued by what she has seen. A moment later, she must have been captivated by what she was seeing.
Just have to tap the touchscreen.
As I mentioned earlier, the movie could be much better in my opinion if it were remade. I feel if it had devoted its effort towards being 100% of one genre, it wouldn't have gotten the reviews it has gotten. The movie is, in my opinion, trying to be too many things. Is it a thriller, a mystery, a drama? Which is it?
Don't you scream. Don't. I'm not gonna hurt you. He set me up, Carl. Who does she look like?
Oh,
She looks like you.
I'll be right there.
Okay. Is it?
You still have that key, don't you? Why don't you show it to us, Jack, huh?
What the hell you doing?
After Jack was killed, I honestly believe the story didn't have much of anywhere to go. To its credit, the original ending was changed because preview audiences didn't want to see Sharon Stone turn immoral in this movie. Sharon Stone will be the next one to give us our next big twist in this thriller, erotic thriller mystery.
You're so beautiful.
As I mentioned earlier, the movie is good in the sense that it's mainly to be viewed for nostalgic purposes and one that gave Sharon Stone her iconic status. Baldwin, in my opinion, just sort of proved why he's sort of the lesser Baldwin, as he is so often called. He wasn't lesser in 113, though.
love you, Naomi.
Carly discovers that along with lying about knowing Naomi, Zeke has been with every woman in the 113 building, perhaps. She also discovers that Naomi's death was actually a murder, and the assailant is none other than Jack himself.
Fucking door now! Open up! Come on!
I believe had Sharon Stone shopped around after Basic Instinct instead of doing this movie, she probably would be in a much better position career-wise today.
That was the past.
All in all, though, as I said before, for nostalgic purposes, I really enjoyed this movie.
Carly, please! Don't!
Get a life.
And that was my movie review on the 1993 movie Sliver starring William Baldwin and Sharon Stone. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.